Hello, my name is Bruce Miller, and I'm with RimTech Consulting. The purpose of this brief video is to give you an overview of our one-day online training course entitled Microsoft Purview Information Protection. Now, the first thing I need to say is that if all you want to know is what features Purview IP or information protection has, you can look that up in a YouTube video and short order get what you need. That's not what this training is about. This is not a feature tour. We don't sell the software. We show you how to apply it and use it correctly. So what does IP really mean? Well, it means protecting information. But from what exactly? Well, that would be from two things. Number one is accidental or nefarious leakage. How can documents get outside our organization that shouldn't get outside our organization? And the second thing is protecting our content from the wrong people seeing documents they shouldn't see. In other words, the wrong people seeing sensitive content. So the whole secret of information protection is how aggressive you want to get. You can get very, very aggressive or very passive. So it depends on how sensitive your information is. You can say this particular content over here is extremely sensitive. So we'll put very strong measures in place. Over here, not quite as sensitive. We won't put measures quite that strong. Bottom line is a good information protection program needs a good strategy behind it. And that's what this training is all about. Not just what the software does, but which features should we use when and why to get the outcome we want. So there's basically a 5-step process going on with IP. First, you want to discover what is sensitive. Then you want to classify it appropriately. Then use labeling to mark them as sensitive. And then you want to apply the protection measures. And ultimately, over time, you should monitor to see how well it's going. So what exactly does IP mean? Well, it means what data is sensitive, where is it, who can access it, and what protection should we apply to it? That's kind of a summary of it. So how do we identify sensitive information? Well, there are several methods, and which method you use depends on your goals. For example, we could use simple pattern matching, kind of crude, but it works. Trainable classifiers, which is very basic, basic AI, machine learning, but it's really advanced pattern matching. We could do things like keyword matching, and we could write custom rules to do this all automatically. Very, very important. And at the end of the day, though, you can't protect anything without labeling it. So you have to be really good at applying sensitivity labels. And there's a science to that and a process, bit of a black art. Now, there's two ways labels can be applied. One way is manually, leave it up to the users. The second way is automatically. We do it on behalf of the corporation. We'll decide what the sensitivity is, and we'll apply appropriate labels to protect them. Which way is better? Both. I think you should actually do both. There are pros and cons of each, which we'll discuss in this training. But that's a very important element of information protection, knowing how to apply labels, under what circumstances, and for what reasons. So what does protection mean when you decide you're going to protect something? Well, you could do things like you could encrypt documents, restrict who can open it. You can prevent it from being forwarded outside the organization. You can even get down to the level of blocking whether they can print it or copy it. You can add watermarks, that kind of thing. And we can also run data loss prevention, which is an element of information protection. And that means you can detect sensitive content. You can, again, block the sharing, but you can do things like you can warn the users to say, careful, before you send this, you might want to think about this. You can prevent even uploads, and you can prevent people from copying to USB drives, things like that. So in summary, this training course is not about simply a walkthrough of the features. No, what it's about is what features to use, when, and why for the best outcome for information protection. So thank you, and hopefully we'll see you in the training course.